last live stream in case you're trying to get back on and you noticed there was an audio issue before. Something about the last call that came in. So as you can see, my carving is just about done. Anyway, all right, so it's split in half and we're making a repair. And so what I'm doing is I'm starting out with some glue around the inside. That's wood glue. Okay, for those of you joining, this is part 2 of a live stream that got cut out. Or in other words, that the audio stopped working on. So what I'm doing here is I'm applying wood glue to the center and then super glue to the outside. And what this does is it secures the carving, the super glue at least, secures the carving in the meantime so I can continue working right away. And the wood glue holds the kind of future-proofs the glue joint, because super glue is not a permanent it's not a permanent solution. So that's that. So I'm back in business. I'm going to hold this here for just a few seconds, spray it with accelerant, and back in business, baby. Shortly enough. If we don't run out of glue. Okay. Sorry about that, guys, with the sound. Got a little glue drip here, so I'm going to clean that up. All right. I'm going to add just a little bit more of the accelerant here. It looks like we're a little bit loose there. It seems a little bit loose, but we may have to... oh, I see, it's a separate layer. So what we're going to do is see if we can separate this layer out. You know, fun stuff. But it happens in wood carving, so you do what you got to do. So this is actually a separate layer, believe it or not. So I'm going to have to try and separate this layer as well. This is how cottonwood bark can be sometimes, though, guys. You have to be prepared for this. All right, so you can see that it actually is a separate layer. It shares a new surface from the old one. And that's okay. We're just going to glue this one together as well. This is just how it goes sometime. Okay, we got our glue. Glue all around the perimeter. We're going to use our wood glue in the center. Just hold that in place for just a second. Wood glue in the very center of that joint. I know this is not much candy for you guys. Oh, and overboard. There we go. Secure this in place. Like so. Make sure our meeting point is good. Or our meet up. Whatever. What am I trying to say? Making sure that the two pieces are together is all. And it looks like we're a little bit weird there. Okay, there we go. And okay, and this is an accelerant to get that super glue to dry and hold everything together. And I think we're in better shape than we were before. Okay. Yeah, don't know what happened to the sound. That call came through and it messed up the sound. So I think we're in okay shape here. There's a little bit of a problem still with the crack. I don't know if it's that it didn't quite fully dry or what, but we can always work as we need to with repairing sections. Turns out this had a crack in it. I could hear it as I was carving in. Yeah, lots of repairing on this one. What were we, 25 minutes into the last video? So we're gonna quit here shortly. But another 20 minutes. Have you ever come across a piece of bark that couldn't be salvaged? Yeah, for sure. I'm honestly thinking about it with this one. No, this is definitely salvageable. This is a pain in the arse, though, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like, look at that. That is just rough. Rough, rough, rough. Not in the dog way. That was a stupid joke. Alright, I get it. Okay, I'm starting to use my nicer tools because I'm not as concerned about dust and dirt and sand. Yeah, I've definitely had pieces of bark that were too much bite, not enough, I don't know, not enough fun. Okay. It's still a little hollow sounding, but we should be able to make do. Well, I guess 10 of you weren't able to find it. Okay, weirdly enough, the notification is just going out now, so folks are probably, maybe they're just gonna come back as they find it. And if they don't, it's fine, I guess. I'll forgive them. I understand. There's a lot of fits and false starts in this project, so I guess it's just a lesson to us. Bark is not always a good behavior. Okay. This thing is stinky too, I'll tell you. Just absolutely chock full of that accelerant and drying glue. So it burns your nose if you get too close to it. That's for sure. I have to wait for this glue to dry, folks, before I can get too detailed. But the good news is we only have another few minutes left on this video anyway. So, well, the good news is for this carving at least, because it doesn't want to be carved right now because there's wood glue. And we're carving into the wood glue, and it needs a little time. So, yeah, early on in a glue up situation like this, you're gonna have a lot of wet glue in your way. Even with the quick trick of adding super glue around the perimeter, you know, it is definitely a nice fix, and I could definitely keep carving this, and I may end up continuing to carve it either way, but that's what the super glue does. It gives you the option to keep carving because it is kind of holding the piece in place, but you're still going to run into glue with your blade, and that is the downside, if you ask me. It's kind of a bummer. Nobody wants to carve wet glue. Maybe somebody does. Not me. All right, a great lesson on patience. Yeah, for real. Have you ever looked at Herman Rosel's carvings, a Swedish carver, great scenes? No, I haven't. I'll look him up. What would you say is the average length of the faces you carved from the top to the bottom? Okay, probably looking at 3.5, 4 inches for the bark carvings. Sometimes smaller, sometimes 3 inches. This one's, I'm gonna guess is 3.5. Maybe 4 at the top. Probably 3.5, yeah. Because, yeah, this is an 1.5 knife blade. Yeah, 3.5. I'm kind of leaving this bit in here just because I kind of like the idea of having that piece of rough material. Kind of sets him back in the carving a little bit more. This is definitely going to drive me nuts. Piece of wood. Excuse me. Okay. Have you listened to the band Weather Report before? Fun jazz fusion. No. Hey, Bob. Weather Report. No. Sounds good, though. Weather Report. Checking my profile. Yeah, I definitely still have some flaking going on here, guys. Which is just the way it is. Just the way it is. Oh, look, we had a hold spot on here with no glue. Tisk tisk. What kind of a glue joint is this? Thought I was supposed to be a professional. I think the glue is getting to me. I thought my camera was falling. I look over and it's not even stationary. It's definitely stationary. Hold that for just a moment. Oh, that wood's gonna have some color to it. It's gonna have some serious color to it when it's done. Hey, Eric from Sweden. You're good, Bob. I'm also running behind here. Do you use two-part epoxy for repairs? No, Mark, I don't. I imagine that would be there'd be a huge disparity in the hardness of the wood and the glue. I take it back. It'd probably be fine. That glue joint would show up probably a little bit more than a super glue and a wood glue, is my guess. Depending, I guess it just depends if you could use a clear two-part epoxy. I don't know. I've never done that. Maybe that's a good solution. Shouldn't write it off. I don't know. Could be a great solution. Where in Sweden are you, Eric? I've forgotten. Or maybe you hadn't said before. Or maybe I'm getting you confused with someone else who has told me where they're from in Sweden. And if you don't want to say, it's fine. Great nose job. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Tail Dragger. Who are you anyway, Tail Dragger? What's your real name? I feel like you're probably somebody I know. That's the feeling I have. All right. Let's see. Bob's from North Carolina. Very cool. Very hot and humid here. Yeah, it is here too. That's probably why you're hearing that AC going on high. There we go, Tail Dragger. I knew he was from Metro Detroit. I use sawdust from my carvings when making repair epoxies, working pretty good. Oh, cool. I like that. Yeah, I like the idea of combining the epoxy. Close to a small city called Arvika in Värmland. Okay, okay. East of Oslo, 4 hours west of Stockholm. But the car. Some of you Americans might be familiar with Norma, which is produced here. Okay, no, I'm not familiar. Hey, what's up? I hope that's not my leaf from the table I got from you. Oh, yeah. It's making a great wood carving. Yeah. Can you imagine? Could you imagine? Hope you guys are using that table. Wood glue and accelerator. Well, the wood glue doesn't accelerate the. For those of who are wondering, I mean, I know you probably know. Good. Glad you're enjoying the table. This is Titebond. I like Titebond in general. It doesn't have to be this. This is the water resistant stuff, but I like to use it just in case. And I use Mitropel, or I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's see. Somebody told me how to pronounce this properly recently. But this is the product. Glad to hear that. All right. Guys, I'm starting to think I'm gonna call this video. Getting close at least. These fumes are getting to me. I need to let this place air out for a second with this glue fume. I need a cold drink. Do you have any experience using cottonwood bark found in the southern half of Minnesota? No, sir. No, but I have, familiarity with that type of bark, which is, if I'm not mistaken, that's eastern cottonwood bark, which is really good. Really good. It's usually lighter in color than this stuff, the western stuff, and it's great. Yeah, sounds good, man. All right. Let's see, where'd my knife go? Oh yeah, that's right. It fell into the ground earlier. All right, well, I call this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. Thank you, Tanner. Mark, yes, the cottonwood bark does dull the tools a lot more quickly than basswood or other types of wood. So yeah, that is the downside. So I end up polishing in between carvings. Oh my gosh, my wife scared me. Say bye, Annalise. See you guys. Much love.